Jayalalitha chairs a two-day conference of top bureaucrats, says law and order is top priority and officers have a free hand. Jayalalitha exhorts IAS officers to ensure that income of farmers is tripled in 5 years by ushering in a second green revolution. DMK MP Kanimuri is not getting bail because her fault is she is Karunanidhi's daughter, actress Khushbu tells NDTV. 100 anti-nuclear activists and pro-nuclear scientists converge in Chennai. Pros and cons of nuclear plants at the Kudankulam are debated. After a simple wedding ceremony, Chennai's spin wizard R. Ashwin is off to Kolkata for the second test against Windies. 9 teenagers representing the need to have 9% of the GDP for children's education and health reached Chennai. Good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Natasha Doraiswamy. We're bringing you the latest news, especially on the Kudankulam front, as well as more news from across the state. But let's take a look at the national headlines first. New twist in the 2G scam. NDTV accesses documents which show that Principal Auditor R.P. Singh may have been pressurized to sign the final report. America has now officially apologized to former President Abdul Kalam for frisking him at the JFK airport in New York. Omar Abdullah meets A.K. Antony after he said that the decision on the Armed Forces Special Powers Act will not be taken by the Chief Minister alone. As the Kingfisher Airlines crisis deepens, Bajaj Auto Chairman Rahul Bajaj tells NDTV the private sector cannot be bailed out. The core group of Team Anna is meeting in Relegan City. Anna decides that the core group will have 50 members which should have utmost integrity. Peter Robach, one of cricket's most respected writers and commentators, has passed away. Now, if a budget speech outlines the government's financial priorities, the first conference of the top IAS and IPS officers chaired by the Chief Minister set the tone and direction of administration in the state. Known for her strong grasp over administration, Chief Minister Jayalalitha reiterated her government's resolve to maintain law and order, put down rowdyism and land grabbing and ensure that farmers get a good deal. Our correspondent Salim brings you the highlights of the first session of the two-day conference of senior officers. Amma's message was clear: put down rowdyism, end the land-grabbing menace, ensure a threefold increase in farmers' income in 5 years. The seasoned administrator that she is, Chief Minister Jayalalitha, came up with her characteristic plain speak at the conference of top officers of Tamil Nadu. Given the AIADMK's government welfare schemes, particularly for farmers, Amma is keen to assure a second green revolution in Tamil Nadu. And to achieve these goals, she made it clear that her officers had a free hand to serve the people. Observers hope this free hand promised will lead to a reasonable tenure for good officers without the spectacle of frequent transfers. In Chennai, with Salim, Natasha Doraiswamy for NDTV Hindu.
The inaugural speech of the Chief Minister was well set out, covering many key subjects. The highlights are: for the police department, maintain law and order. Secondly, put down rowdies and criminals. Thirdly, restore land to the original owners, thereby bringing the land grabbers to book. And to the district collectors, she urged the district collectors to act on economic development. She said that the agriculture sector, which is the primary sector, is not doing well. And she said that the farmers' income should triple at the end of 5 years. And secondly, to insulate the poor from the adverse price rise, the government have been distributing the essential commodities under the public distribution scheme. The Chief Minister has asked the district collectors to weed out the bogus cards, and pilferage and leakage should be sternly dealt with. Thirdly, she has urged the district collectors to compete with the other states and to compete with the other district collectors in providing the best education and healthcare facility. And fourth, the local body elections are over and the new elected representatives have assumed the charge. The Chief Minister have very clearly said that the new elected representative should act as a bridge between the administration and the people. In general, she said that the people of Tamil Nadu, everyone in Tamil Nadu, should get everything.
Well, it is campaigns galore in the country, and reaching Chennai, one among them is a unique initiative by children, mere teenagers who have stirred up public support and opinions to press for the delivery of the centre's promise to execute the allocation of 9% of the GDP for children's education and health in the country. 6% of the GDP to public spending on education and 3% to spending on health. This campaign goes by the name the 9 for Mine campaign. Their advocacy would be to lobby and engage members of the Planning Commission, members of Parliament and ministers to seek their support to deliver on this long-pending promise of 9% in the forthcoming budgets. In its fourth phase now, called Train Yatra, it has 9 children from diverse communities and deprived sections of society travelling along the east coast from Kanyakumari, reaching Chennai en route to Delhi to stir up support from the public.
One important promise, that is allocating 6% of the GDP for education and 3% for health, is far from being fulfilled. Continuously for 4 years, children have started demanding that this promise must be kept. So Vadanathur Abhiyan, which is a network of NGOs across India, is demanding for the 4th year through children, through this 9 is Mine campaign, that is high time that they hear the voice of children and allocate this 6% of the GDP for education and 3% for health, particularly because now RTE has been enacted into law.
Well, a fire broke out in a plastic company at Tirumudivakam near Pallavaram, causing damage to products worth lakhs of rupees. The fire spread rather rapidly because of the plastic products stocked there. Soon after, 5 fire tenders arrived and doused the fire after fighting it for over 4 hours. The cause of the fire and loss of property are yet to be ascertained. Well, coming up to the news of the day now, anti-nuclear activists that go under the name Chennai Solidarity Group for Kudunkulam Struggle arrived in Chennai on their yatra from Madurai, stopping at towns and villages en route to Kudunkulam to explain the terrible environmental and health effects of nuclear energy. Meanwhile, to drive home its anti-nuclear point, a national seminar on the ill effects of nuclear energy at the Kudunkulam plant took place in Chennai today. Tackling this attack on nuclear energy, nuclear scientists gathered in Chennai to face and respond to what many call the questionable aspects of nuclear energy in the country.
Chennai turned into a battlefield on Sunday over the Kudunkulam impasse. Both scientists and anti-nuclear activists pitched in with their views over the safety concerns of the nuclear plant. Let's listen in to some of the key concerns raised by activists and its counter-arguments.
Kudunkulam is the sea coast, so is Tarapur. Tarapur was the first nuclear plant established in India. At that time, before the establishment of nuclear plant, more than 700 boats were plying in the sea to catch fish. It was a flourishing business in that area. We have visited Tarapur. In fact, we started our first anti-nuclear national yatra from Tarapur. And now you won't find more than 20-25 boats there. So where have gone fish from that area? So the first casualty will be fish.
There is a lot of industrial and biological pollution that is taking place. So you got to segregate that. Even if Kalpakkam power station was not there, Madras city's pollution of the ocean, will it not have an adverse impact? You got to segregate the two.
Kudunkulam reactors get their water from a desalination plant. That is, you take water from the sea and remove the salt and then use it. This is a machine and they have 2 days reserve water. If for some reason this desalination plant goes out, then there is no water at the reactor. So for 2 days only they can function.
Here in Kudunkulam, we are not taking any fresh water from the public domain. We are doing desalination. And we are now putting up another very large storage facility, so there will be a very large backup storage available. That is being incorporated.
In Japan, our nuclear establishments are safe. Nothing happened for 30 years, but after 30 years it happened. It is not that it happens every day, but if it happens, then it affects generations.
The point is the following: in any kind of industrial activities, there is a small residual risk, but you should know how to manage your safety so that you are able to manage even the improbable accident. That even on that situation, nothing in the public domain is going to impair the health of the people or interfere with their way of life. That we can say because we have incorporated many more safety features. In case of Fukushima, if I were in Japan and if I had seen the report that this tsunami height was too low, I would have said, don't allow it to operate, shut it down. They should have done that.
Solar heat is very cheap. You just have a large reflector or you have a oil-based collector system, and that is at least 1/3 the cost of even solar electricity. So a very large part of our energy needs can be taken care of very cheaply by solar, wind, geothermal.
Look, I'm telling you, please put up any number of solar power stations and wind power stations, run your electricity system. You find an answer. You ask the question, you ask them this question. Can you run your motor car making factory on solar energy? Can you run your cement plant on solar energy? Can you run a fertilizer plant on solar energy? No.
Well, that to and fro debate won't be solved very easily or anytime soon, but the Kudankulam controversy has now finally reached the capital of Tamil Nadu, Chennai. Eminent anti-nuclear scientists and activists had met the media at different venues to address what many would call the questioning of aspects of the nuclear plant crisis. Later in the day, the anti-nuke representatives conducted a national seminar for students on the negative effects and dangers of nuclear energy. The group embarked on a road show, Kam Yatra, from Madurai to Kudankulam in an attempt to bring about more awareness to villagers and urban youth on the dangers of a nuclear plant and mainly to extend support to the anti-nuclear protesters. Their roadshow ended in Chennai today.
So we are here at the culmination of the national yatra against the Kudankulam nuclear power plant and against nuclear power plants in general. This yatra has been taken in light of the ongoing struggle in Kudankulam. The aim of the yatra is to highlight the dangers of nuclear power as a source of electricity. There is widespread myth that nuclear power can be a sustainable source of electricity, but in more than 60 years of Indian independence, post-independence history, India has got an installed capacity of less than 2,800 megawatts and generates currently less than 0.75% of the nation's energy needs. It's an extremely expensive technology. The consequences of nuclear disasters are to be borne by generations to come in the future, and we think that there are good and more sane ways and better technologies to adopt, like solar and wind. What is really ironical is around the nuclear power plant in Kudankulam there are close to 1,000 windmills that have been installed. So this is the way forward, and I think that's the message that scientists from around the country are coming here to give.
Well, staying with the same issue, when we return, we bring you a rather interesting debate that has got everyone's attention. Nuclear energy and its utmost importance to power up the southern states, and the people's protests making the lasting impact, questioning the safety measures at Kudankulam. Stay tuned.